And without any further ado, I would love to introduce Justin Filip to talk with you folks here tonight. And thank you for joining us, Justin.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Justin B. On the other side of the country. We got Justin on each coast. So, yeah, I mean, you gave me a couple of good segues. Yes, so, in the introduction you mentioned, I serve on, I look for ways in my community to get involved and help out in whatever capacity. So yes, I was like on the figure skating board because my daughter's involved in that. The parent organization at her school. I've also was a founding member of the University of Oregon Faculty and Staff for Justice in Palestine. Very involved in the student encampment on campus at that time. I just wanted to mention that because that was a big part of my campaign last time. But you mentioned something about trying to win, and I think that's how I want to use my time today. Talking about how we win. We just had our summer convention in Oregon, and we invited Butch Ware and Shama Sawant to join us to share their insights. And Butch really challenged us to have a shift in mindset. He put it, and I think he's correct, that a lot of times we're just sort of content to run, just to participate, maybe, just to maybe advance the conversation. And that's important. That's definitely important. We definitely, if we don't run campaigns, certain issues would never be talked about. So we do broaden the scope of what is talked about. But how do we take it to the next step? How do we win? Because I think ultimately that's what needs to happen, right? In order for us to overcome the oppression, and injustices in our world and in our communities, we're going to have to take power. We're going to have to displace the oppressors from their seats of power and replace them. Ultimately, that is the goal. So, and if we don't win this election needs to set us up to have a better chance to win the next election. So I think that's the mindset I would encourage all of us to go into these elections with. And if anyone in the media ever asks you if you're trying to win, the answer is yes. We are trying to win. So, because no one is going to take us seriously if they think we're just here to. Now, is the task very daunting? Is it going to be a heavy lift? Yes. It's not going to be easy, and I'm not saying it will be, but we got to have a plan. So I got a couple things I want to share. I do think what Butch Ware has got going on in California has got a lot of energy around it. And I really love his model of direct action plus mutual aid plus electoral politics. And I think we really need to be engaged in all of those. And this is kind of what I've always talked about as far as the role, what I see the role of the Green Party here in my community is we're out there in the community doing mutual aid, participating in direct action at times, helping folks navigate this broken system that we've got. While at the same time, in parallel, we are working to replace that system so that we don't have to be out there so much, so that all this mutual aid isn't so necessary, that we don't have to scream at people to stop a genocide, because now we have the power and we're making the calls and we're going to make the right calls. So that's ultimately what the vision needs to be. So I do think in order to have credibility, though, we need to be shoulder to shoulder with these people in the streets. So it's not enough for us to just be on the ballot. We can't expect people to support us that we're not already out there supporting. I think we need to really walk the walk, be in our communities. I do think I agree with what Rick said. Let's recruit from the activists in our community. That is how we can win, because these are the people, like he said, that already are respected movement leaders. And remember, we're building a movement here, right? I like what the tagline you guys had in the email about we are the electoral arm of the movement. And that's how we have to view ourselves. And I think that's how we sell ourselves to the other activists that we work with, is that we want to be, we're doing that direct action, we're doing that mutual aid, and we need us to build solidarity around the Greens to be that electoral arm of the movement. Butch talked about building relationships. I think we have to do that. I was a psychology major, and I think what I'm noticing lately is, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think this party is full of introverts. and, so like, it's not, we can't just, social media alone isn't going to cut it. We're going to have to go talk to people. I'm sort of an extrovert presenting introvert. We just got to dig deep and find that within ourselves, and then go back into our hole when we get home and recharge our batteries. But I think we do need to knock on doors. One of the things we're trying to do here is because you can in Oregon, I know it's not the same everywhere, but in Oregon, you can register as a Green. So we know who the Greens are in our community. I can get the list from the Secretary of State. And so we're just going to start knocking on doors. And if they're not home, I'm going to have a flyer that I can leave for them, inviting them to get engaged. Because in Oregon, we have over 8,000. We'd love it to be more, but we have at least 8,000 registered Greens. So these folks already have one foot in the door. We need to mobilize them because the whole idea is growing this. So I look at running this campaign. I'm both running a campaign to win an office, but also growing the party. So I'm really trying to, inject a lot of the Green messaging and get people to buy into what we're trying to do here as part of my campaigning, because that's how we're going to win. We got to grow the movement. If you can get people registered as Greens in your state, do that. I talked about sort of getting out of our comfort zone, doing things maybe we're not really used to doing. I don't particularly love knocking on doors, but it shouldn't be too intimidating to go talk to people who we know are already Greens and just say, hey, I know you're a Green, I'm a Green, and invite them to something. Give people different ways to plug in. That's not just, beyond just voting, right? Democracy requires participation. That statistic, Rick, I think was great. The 5% growth since November, amazing. I think we need to shout that kind of thing from the rooftops. I think people want to get involved with something that they think other people are already getting involved with. Like, that's the psychology, right? If you see some excitement over there, you're like, what's going on? What's going on? Okay, maybe I want to get involved with that. So we need to create some buzz, right? And demonstrating that we have some growth already will encourage more growth, I think. I'll wrap it up, but yeah, the videos, thank you so much, Green Congressional Campaign Committee and Ariel, for coming out and helping me put that video together. I know that there's several different ways we can attack it and target audiences. My particular strategy in my first race was just to build name recognition. So I sort of cast a very broad net. We have a 17,000 square mile congressional district that I reside in. It's huge. So, I mean, it's like an hour and a half drive from where I live to the coast, and then it goes down to California. So it's hard to cover all that ground physically. So that online presence did help, and I just wanted trying to build name recognition in all of our communities, large and small. I'll wrap it up, but one bit, I'm just glad I'm starting early, I guess, this time. And there's a lot of lessons that I learned from doing it last time that I hope to apply. And starting sooner helps. I don't officially have the nomination because our nominating convention isn't until May. And I think historically we kind of wait around for our nominating conventions, and then we're sort of scrambling to find candidates. And waiting for candidates to come to us, I just don't think is a winning strategy. So again, I want to reiterate, recruit the activists in your community to run for office as Greens. Offer them that ballot line if that's what we have to offer in your state. I'll just wrap it up there. But
yeah,
let's go win. Let's go win. Let's try to take this to the next level. And thank you all for having me.
Yep. Thank you. That's
yes.
excellent. And you reminded me of the first time I had to give a public speech many years ago and how absolutely terrified I was inside. But you get over that after you've done it a couple times. So,
I just want to tack on, if I may. Anybody can do this. Don't think this is something that I never saw myself doing. I'm just some guy. Butch is just some guy. Like, we're all just some guy or some gal in our community who decided that enough was enough and we needed something better. And I want everyone to feel empowered to be able to do that.